Hey everyone, Tommy Durfler here with Lighthouse Wealth Group. Most people think when they think of, okay, am I ready to retire? They think of that as purely just a math question. Do I have enough saved? But in almost 20 years of doing this, some of the most confident retirees I've worked with weren't just ready financially, they were ready in other ways as well. And so here's what I mean. One sign you know you're ready is that you know what you're retiring to. The first sign, you know what you're retiring to, not just what you're retiring from. A lot of people can tell me exactly what they're leaving behind. It's the commute, the stress or the pressure, the corporate meetings. But far fewer can tell me what their Tuesday looks like 6 months into retirement. If you have a real answer, things like traveling, spending more time with family, the grandkids, doing more volunteering, maybe starting that hobby you've been putting off, or even just doing part time consulting, that's a strong sign. Purpose matters just as much as the portfolio. Sign number two is you and your spouse are actually aligned. um, you're on the same page. And I mean really aligned, not just agreeing on a date, but do you agree on how much you'll spend, where you're going to live, how much time you'll spend together versus apart? I've seen couples who were financially ready but hadn't had these conversations, and the first year of retirement became a lot bumpier than it needed to be. So, a quick gut check is if you and your spouse each wrote down your ideal typical week in retirement, would they align together? And finally, the third sign is really you've planned the transition, not just the finish line. Um, you've thought through the transition itself and not just a single date. Retirement isn't a single event, it's a shift, a mental shift. So, what does month one look like? Are you retiring all at once or are you easing out with part time work or consulting? Have you thought about structure? Because a lot of retirees miss that built in structure that work provided, even if they didn't love the job itself. People who've thought through this tend to have a much smoother adjustment than people who focused solely on just hitting a number. So, to recap, purpose, alignment with your spouse, and a plan for the transition. None of these show up on an account statement, but all three matter just as much as your savings. So if you're weighing whether you're ready, not just financially, but in these other ways too, that's exactly the kind of conversation we like to have.